Hello guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to Flawah Sounds. This is yet another episode where we are going to be talking about things music, and in this one specifically we are going to be talking about how to take care of your good voice that the good Lord gave you. Alright, so we are going to be looking at things that you need to do, things that you need to avoid when you're singing or when you're not singing, or after singing or before singing, anything. I mean, we're going to be talking about the voice. So the first thing that you need to understand is that singing is like athletics. Singing is a physical exercise. Most people just think, probably you've heard some people saying that don't listen to the voice, listen to the words. Singing is like a sport. It's a sport in itself. So when you're singing, for you to be able to be effective, you need to be physically fit, because you cannot really deliver or you cannot really project your voice when you're not physically fit. So the number one thing that you need to do is that you need to be physically fit. You need to exercise your body. You need to exercise your muscles, because when your muscles are tense, it's like dancing also. By the way, have you realized that when you're singing you also dance? So when your muscles are tensed, you cannot be able to really deliver when you're singing or when you're worshiping. The other thing that you need to understand is that there are things you need to avoid. You need to avoid sugar and you need to avoid milk products before singing, because when you do so, you're not going to really deliver. Most of us, when you take sugar in the morning or when you take tea before going to minister or to sing, you normally feel like belching all the time. So your voice is not really in its good state. You cannot really sing in your optimal condition. And then the other thing you need to know is that when you eat those things, you're going to block your vocal cords. These cords that are on the throat here, the ones that you used to sing. So you're going to block them and it's not going to be effective. And then the other thing you need to know is that you need to avoid cold. For example, in a weather like this one, you need to really keep warm, because when your body has cold, you're not going to be able to sing well. Most of us, you get your nose, you block inside there, so you need to avoid cold. And that's the reason behind the warm-up that is normally done before singing. In most places, before people sing, they normally warm up. So the reason behind that is so that your muscles can loosen up enough and your vocal cords can become warm enough, because they need to be a little bit wet so that you can be able to sing well, so that you cannot screech when you're singing. And then the other thing you need to know and to understand is that you need to drink lots and lots of water, and preferably warm water. You really need a lot of water, because when you're singing, you're using your breath, you're using your muscles, you're using everything in you, like your brain, you're using everything. So you need a lot of water so that you can be able to be stable as you're singing. And then the other thing you need to know is that you need to keep to use the most appropriate or the easiest thing, the easiest remedy to get your voice back. For example, there are people who, when they lose their voice, they go for dawa, the one that is sold in Java or other places. Others use honey. But as my opinion is that you need to use the most readily available remedy. For example, if you use water, anywhere you go, whether you are in Antarctica or you're in South Africa or wherever you are, in America, in Kenya, in Africa, wherever you are, you'll always find water. So just try as much as is within you to use the easiest remedy, so that when you are anywhere around the world or somewhere in some villages down there in some place, you will get water anywhere. But if you wanted honey, there are some places where they probably might not have honey. But if you are ministering and you are on stage, you can easily ask for someone for water, rather than asking them for other things that are quite hard to get, so that it can be easier for you to be able to know, if I take water, I'll get back fine. And then the other thing you need to have is you need to have proper mic technique. Don't block the microphone like this, like the rappers. Some of those microphones are custom made. So when you block it, you lose your voice, or when you are shouting into the microphone, you get to lose your voice, and it's not really nicely put. It will affect you negatively when you do that, when you don't have the right proper mic technique. We'll talk about that on a later date. And then the other thing you need to know is that the moment you have lost your voice, for example, you are ministering and you lost your voice, you need to keep quiet. I mean, you need to stop talking. There are people after a service and you've really sung, you've really ministered, and you've lost your voice, and then you just keep on talking to everyone everywhere. So at such a moment or at such a particular time, you need to calm down. You don't really need to talk to everyone. You can just go home, and naturally your voice is gonna come back, rather than your voice is lost and then you still want to continue talking to everyone, or you still want to continue to singing every I mean, after that moment when you've lost your voice, just calm down and then the voice will just come back naturally. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing to this channel so that you can get more insights about everything pertaining music. This is Flawah Sounds.